At like the age of 18, I was just on the track. Go to a good college, get a decent degree, do good. You're going to get an entry-level job down on Wall Street. You're going to work real hard. You're going to be a broker. You're going to make tons of money. You're going to be retired by a very young age. You're going to have a house on the beach in New Jersey and a couple Mercedes and a trophy wife, and that'll be the end of the game. I'm done. Multi-millionaire. That's it.
Do you think there's a problem with the disparity of the price it costs to make products versus the price they're sold for?
All Americans want to do is make money. The American dream is to be rich, sit on your ass all day. As a CEO, a business decision I had to make was whether to go overseas or not. And the wage that I could pay workers is much less than what I would have to pay a worker minimum wage here. As CEO of BC Clothing and Shoes, the great decision I made was to move my company overseas. Ever since my company has gone overseas, the cost per share for each stock has gone up double. Now that minimum wage has gone from $6.75 to $7.25, the only logical business opportunity that I could have chosen was to go to Bangladesh, where the workers are paid 15 cents an hour. Globalization benefits my company in many ways, especially with the production of goods. In our Salem, New Hampshire plants, shoes were produced for 31 times more because of pay of workers and maintenance of machinery. In Bangladesh, my company produces shirts for 6 cents per shirt, and the same shirt is retailed in the U.S. stores for $60. These shirts acquire great profit for my company, and they help me establish by expanding factories throughout Bangladesh. The factories I have established already employ 8,000 workers, and with the addition of 4 new factories, the number of my employees' workforce will grow to 200,000. With the increased workforce we will establish their work in production, we estimate that we will increase by 125% in revenue from 2009 for BC Clothing.
Recent research has shown that empirical evidence for globalization of corporate innovation is very limited, and as a corollary, the market for technologies is shrinking. As a world leader, it's important for America to provide systematic research grants for our scientists. I believe strongly there will always be a need for us to have a well-articulated innovation policy with emphasis on human resource development. Thank you.
Globalization is a process by which regional economies, societies, and cultures have become integrated through a global network of communication and trade. Companies such as Apple, McDonald's, and Nike have globally expanded out of the U.S. into foreign nations and have successfully branded their trademark into these foreign cultures. Countries all over the globe have taken the form of U.S. society due to globalization changing the face of the world as we see it. Globalization negatively affects the countries it has spread to. Sweatshops, overproduction of goods, pollution of environment are all areas that globalization affect. Yet companies continue to produce mass amounts of goods in foreign countries for profit. Something just isn't right about the process of globalization. My business is the first globally expanded electronics company that does not pollute our earth or the environment. When we need to get rid of waste products, we use NASA bases in space to dump our batteries and circuit boards into outer space, so the earth is never included in the pollution. We hope companies and corporations follow the lead of my company to help stop the pollution of the environment all over the world. The widespread pollution of bodies of waters and lands needs to stop for the sake of the generations to come. The world is not a garbage bin, and we need to save it for people in the future. No, I personally think globalization is bad, even though it helps countries like the U.S. Produce goods and trade. It helps commerce, but in other countries it doesn't. A prime example of globalization harming our world is down in the Gulf with the oil spills. The U.S. needs to keep up with oil production, so they try and rapidly dig wells in the ocean And when an oil well in the ocean spills, then you have oil leaks all across, for example, the Gulf Coast. These oil spills kill many sources of food, life, like poison water. They just take away from lives.
I guess that's why I feel so wrong to see the world getting stripped out of every resource. And people pray to Coca-Cola now instead of the God. What's going on? Okay. What you say now?
As a factory owner in Bangkok, Thailand, I have the responsibility to keep employees safe and to manage production of goods out of my factory. Many people believe factories have bad working conditions and label them sweatshops. Yet, I keep my factory in great condition and keep my employees safe, happy, and living. Without globalization, the opportunity for people who live around my factory to work would be very limited. More than 95% of the people who live within a 23 mile radius of my factory work at my factory. This provides opportunities to make money to better support their families. Without the factory ever being put here, with the process of globalization, they would have never had this chance.
And globalization's main intentions are positive, but there are many aspects that prove this statement false. Major corporations all over the world take their factories and go over the seas to where the wages can be as low as possible. These conditions maximize the profits and allow corporations to rise and grow to new heights, while the workers that are creating the products are barely getting by. The Foxconn factories in China have eight suicide attempts by factory workers. Foxconn is responsible for the iPod's massive dispersion, accumulating over billions of dollars from the time the iPods were released. In Nike sweatshops in Bangladesh, workers are paid a measly 13 cents per hour. At this rate, a worker working a 15-hour day makes $1.95 an entire workday. 50 to 75% of their total income goes to food alone, leaving the rest only for shelter and other basic necessities.
Globalization affects my life in many ways. As a student at the University of Toledo, I'm studying economics and Spanish, which will help me get a job in the workforce once I graduate. As an economics major, I have studied the tendency of trade in and out of foreign countries. Globalization has expanded throughout the entire world and may affect third world countries more than first world countries today.
The limit, so you know I'm gon' rise and shine. I got to do my thing. I'm kinda getting a little tired of what was hitting. That's the reason I'ma speak my mind, keep from going insane, and I work with it. We in the last inning, the world keeps spinning. My people steady losing while the rich keep winning. It's like we never smiling and the devil steady grinning, killing.
With my studies of Spanish, I plan to go to South American countries and expand globalization and trade markets to help establish a middle class.
This summer, basketball took me to South Africa. Hello. I met some amazing new friends. I listened, I learned, I helped, and I realized that at 6 feet, 11 inches,
he looks like a giant.
The things I do as a basketball player may be big, but it's what I do as a person that will make me stand tall. I'm Dwight Howard of the Orlando Magic, the NBA, where caring happens.
I started my career in the European Basketball League in Madrid, Spain. One effect of globalization has been the fall of the European currency, the euro. It has gone from almost twice as much to only 25% more than the American dollar. With this decline of the euro, my agent is browsing contracts set forth by the National Basketball Association. I have one objection before I sign with any team. If the company that sponsors a potential team that I'm signing with uses sweatshops to produce the goods, then the team is off my list.